What's up? It's Juice Beats, back again with another race video. And this is day 2 of the tour of St. Louis, the Mike Murray Classic Criterium in Forest Park. This one is a much flatter race, so no undulations like there were the day before. The profile, I think, only goes up to about 2% on one little part, and you'll see that coming up shortly. But yeah, super flat race. It's gonna be fast. It is a little bit cooler today. You see the sun's not really out at this moment, so we were all kind of standing around like, oh, it's a little cold today, but not too bad. But let's get started here. I've actually got the back cam going this time, finally. And yeah, here we go. So as we get started here, you see my teammates there. On the left is Derek, right there to my right is Terrell, and just up the way is Grant. So we're all back together. Another race day on this day 2 race, getting started here fast. One thing that you'll notice here on this very first turn is that we like to bunch together and kind of go slow into it for some reason. Even though this is the first lap and we're all just getting started, it was kind of like that throughout the race as well. So you will see some of that later on. But yeah, going into these turns right here, things kind of slowed down a little bit. And here's that rise that I was talking about just at the beginning. It's not terrible. Like I said, it's like 2% or something like that. But it is a slight little rise. So it did slow things down a little bit throughout the race. But this long backstretch here is where we got a big tailwind. And I knew this was the place that most of the guys were going to try to put moves in, getting that tailwind. So had to be mindful of that, kind of watch out. But yeah, I mean, you didn't have to pedal too much on this backstretch. We were getting a nice tailwind on this back, and you can move up pretty easily. I mean, the roads were fairly wide here, and yeah, I didn't have any problems moving up if we needed to. Let's go over some stats real quick before we get into the race. So just like day 1, this is a 60-minute race, so a little bit longer for the Cat 3s and the Collegiate Bs in this one. We averaged 26 miles an hour. I averaged 256 watts with a 1379 watt max and a 299 normalized. We'll go ahead and round that up to 300. But yeah, not too crazy for me. Actually, 256 is probably sitting right there in the middle of my zone 2 anyway. So yeah, nice, fairly easy day. Even though the normalized power is about 300, that's still kind of tempo. So not too crazy of a day for me. Didn't put out a ton of power or anything like that. But yeah, we are moving here. I would say that, going into the start-finish straight there, you'll see that, that's where we hit the headwind. So it did, that was where the spikes were coming from. I think without that area, without those spikes, my normalized power would have been down even more. But, having a spike up there and kind of stay with the group brought my normalized power up. But yeah, so far at the beginning of this race, nothing too crazy or anything like that. Just getting a feel for the course. We actually did get to ride the course a little bit beforehand, so we were familiar with all the areas, all the little bumps, all the areas that kind of came up throughout the race, and I'll kind of point them out as we go through this as well, just to give you guys a heads up if you do ride this race later on. But there is like a manhole cover that is coming up here in just a minute, and we did have to avoid it. Yeah, we just passed it there. I think it was circled in orange, but yeah, if you hit that, yeah, you were gonna probably bust a tire or something like that, because it was kind of sticking up pretty well. But you can see, like, I'm not putting out any watts, and I'm just floating past people here. I guess that's the joys of being a bigger guy in a field and having the tailwind behind me. So give it a little bit of gas right here, and then I can move up. But you can see the peloton starting to move a little bit quicker. There's some things going on at the front. There's Terrell off to the right there. I will say in this race that We kind of went into it. We all kind of talked in the morning. We had breakfast and talked a little bit about the race the day before and just how we need to have better team tactics and things like that, and probably try to control the race a little bit more. I wouldn't say that we controlled the race very well in this one, spoiler alert, but I will say that we didn't take unnecessary risks going into this race. We all kind of stayed pretty tight together, and Grant wasn't going off the front as many times in this race. So I think we all kind of held it together a little bit more. We're a little bit more patient, bide our time, and really just kind of let the race come to us in this one. So a little bit better, I think, compared to the first day. But still a lot of work to do, obviously, for the rest of the season. But like I said, this is our first time racing together. We haven't really done any team camp or anything like that. So definitely something that we will get better at throughout the season. But here's that bunch up there that I said, going into these turns, it was always kind of a slow down area. And then going up this hill, we're all bunched together. And I don't think anybody is off yet. Well, maybe. Yeah, there is somebody off at the front there. This early in a 60-minute race, somebody being off that early, not too worried, I guess you could say. Especially, I think that he is by himself as well, so wasn't too worried about it at the moment. But you can see there's some guys trying to make moves over there, trying to bridge up. So if it does, a couple guys will, if they tried to bridge up at this point, it would make it a little bit more threatening. But the way the peloton's moving, where we're just kind of chilling all together and just kind of letting him dangle out there by himself, and nobody else is really trying to go. Didn't think it was that threatening, and we'd probably catch him, especially with the amount of time that we have left in this race at this point. And here we go, going into the last turn. You can see how far ahead this attack or this breakaway is, and the chaser there. But you can see the peloton's not really doing a whole lot to try to catch up to him. We're all kind of chilling all together, bunched up. Nice big peloton there. So no panic or anything like that so far. It is early. We're only 7 minutes into the race. Skip forward a little bit. So we're going through the half circle part, I guess, into the second turn, you could say. But this is a place where I found that I could move up pretty easily. So with the slowdown on that turn and people going up this uphill, I kind of took this inside line here, and this turn is pretty wide up here as well, and people took it wide, so you could take the inside corner and move up fairly well if you wanted to throughout the race. And then obviously getting this relief, with the wind behind us. So slotted in behind Derek there, and so it moved up a few spaces, moved out from kind of closer to the back to a little bit more in the middle, I guess you could say. And then just coasting with the rest of the peloton here. It's definitely a good place to move up. So this is the last turn that I was talking about, and I guess I kind of missed it early on, but you can see the road is pretty banged up, and so a lot of people were kind of spreading apart there and just trying to take weird lines and things like that. You could go over it. It wasn't terrible, but it was definitely something that like a lot of people were trying to avoid throughout the race. So there were some weird lines and things going into that last corner there that people were taking. So kind of had to pay attention pretty well to make sure you weren't running in the back of somebody. I found that later on in the race, taking the inside line helped out a lot in that one, just to be able to go through it without having to brake or anything like that, because people were braking over the bad pavement and things like that. So it wasn't quite potholes, but it was really like broken up pavement. So something that I guess in the future, if you guys do race out here, take a look at that. They did fix the bridge. I wasn't out here the year before, but a couple of the guys were, and apparently the bridge was the big thing. But the bridge is fixed, so the bridge is nice and smooth. It's the pavement after the bridge that you got to worry about a little bit. We are all together, it looks like, at the moment. There is somebody, looks like, trying to throw a flyer out there out front. But the guy that was out there for a few laps before, we caught up to him after a couple laps. So it looks like everybody is back together now and all just chilling. Well, I've shuffled through most of the race already, so we're about a little over halfway right here. And this is another instance where we've kind of slowed down a little bit going up into this corner. And this is what I was talking about, kind of moving up, taking this nice inside corner, moving up a whole bunch of spots into the peloton, into kind of the front third of the race here, getting in good position. I was trying to remember at this point if Grant was there at the front or not. I cannot see him. Oh, actually, yeah, he might be a couple bike lengths. Yeah, there he is, right there in front, just ahead. I was trying to remember. It's been a few days since we did this race, but there he is, just to the right there. So I was kind of moving up, thinking that he may be pulling a move or something like that. But I do believe we did talk here, and maybe not here, but maybe later on, just talking about how, obviously we had that big tailwind on the back, but going into the headwind on the front, it wasn't looking like people were going to get away. So we were going to kind of be a little bit more patient about things and not try to burn too many matches or anything like that. So kind of sitting back is the name of the game, I guess, for this one. But you can see the peloton is moving on this one a little bit quicker. I think that might have been a preem lap, so that's what people were going for. So that's why it's a little bit faster on that start-finish stretch there. But you can see once they went through on the preem, everything's slowing down and fanning out again. So that's why it was a little bit elevated on the speed there, and things got a little bit crazy at that point. So back together, I believe. A few guys just off the front there, but basically they're 2 seconds maybe, and getting ready to hit the back stretch. So I think we will catch them here in just a second. So nothing too crazy has happened. That's why I kind of scrubbed through a lot of the race so far, but just wanted to show you that one little part. So scrubbing through, we're at about 8,200 meters left in the race. This is going into the start-finish straight, so sitting in pretty still, not using too much energy, hopefully. But you can see, there is one guy kind of off the front a little bit, but we're all basically together. And I think this is a point where I was looking for where all my teammates were. So Terrell's a couple bike lengths up there to my right, and I want to say that Grant is just in front or a little bit ahead there, and I'm not sure where Derek is. I can't see on the video here, but I know we're at this point in the race. I'm thinking, okay, it may come down to a bunch sprint. We're 20 laps in, almost 45 minutes into the race, so we are coming down to the close of it. There's not too much left, so we got to start thinking about all getting together, maybe putting a train together, getting out there to the front. And this is where learning the team tactics and having team camp and knowing everybody's strengths, all that stuff gets put together. Towards the end of a race, we've got to be able to do that and control things. If you go back and watch anything from Legion back in 2020, 2021, and 2022, they were really, really good at putting together their lead out train on the front of pelotons and just pushing the pace and killing people in the last few laps of the race. And it was usually kind of around this time in the race where they had everybody kind of together and they would push it. You know, now that Legion has kind of broke up, you know, the brothers are on different teams, and a lot of the guys that were on the original team are on different teams now. It's kind of a little different, so everybody's kind of got their lead out. But just watching that, you know, back in when I first started learning about bike racing and things like that, I thought that was, you know, amazing, and something that I wanted to do when I got on the team was be able to put something like that together and be able to control a race here. But I mean, we're going into you know, only a few laps to go here, and you can see things have kind of slowed down at this point. We've got a preem going. I didn't even see what lap, but I'm guessing we're at 3 laps to go just based off the lap counter here. So we've got a preem lap, so let's see if things pick up here a little bit. Well, I scrubbed through that whole lap and there really wasn't much there, but I think this is when one of the guys at the front sent out a flyer and got a really big lead on the rest of the peloton, and he is holding it at the moment. And you'll see here in just a second as we go around this corner, I've got my third camera out there watching over the start-finish straight, and you'll see how much of a lead he's got at this moment. We're going into two laps to go. There he is going, and you can see where we are. We're just on the turn there, so he's got a pretty good lead there. I'm not even counting the seconds, but I'm just guessing at least 15 to 20 at this moment here. And you can see the peloton is not really going very fast at this moment. We're going about 26 miles an hour. Not really. I mean, it looks much better when it's on my camera, but when we're off to the side, it didn't look like we were moving very well. We're all bunched up and fanning out again here, so that just means that there is a little bit of a slowdown. So I believe it's 2 laps to go here. He is holding out about a 20-second or so lead, possibly. I see a couple of my teammates, and we're not all together at this point. We need to get together. There's Grant right there to my right, so he is also sitting back, holding back on the attacks and keeping the energy at this point. I don't think I realized that guy was out front because I was, you know, in the middle or something like that, and could not see where he attacked from. But just, you know, seeing the footage and everything, you know, now obviously I'm seeing, you know, how much of a lead he had on the rest of the peloton and everything. But here we go in the final couple laps here, and we'll see how this kind of unfolds at the moment. It doesn't look like anybody is really trying to go after him, and we're not really trying to pressure him at all. Like, nobody's attacking, everybody's kind of chilling. I think everybody, it seemed, was kind of waiting for that last lap to kind of turn it on, kind of conserving their energy a little bit here. I mean, you can see we're going 33 miles an hour, and obviously, you know, it's kind of tough to go faster than that with this tailwind thing, you know, without pushing a whole bunch of energy out. So that's why I think, you know, everybody's kind of conserving here. But you'll see here going into this last turn, there he is. There's the bell for the final lap, if you could hear that in the background there. And we're going about 24, 25 miles an hour, 26. Okay, so now we're starting to pick it up. But you can see how far we are behind him going into this last lap. And we're moving a little bit now. It looks a little bit faster than before. But now I'm in position here, so you can see Terrell's right in front. There's Grant and there's Derek. So we're all 4 together on going into this last lap. Terrell makes a nice move on the outside here, and you know, I get a little bit squeezed, but I'm still behind Derek, so I'm still with my teammate here, but I should be up there where Terrell is, and we should be moving a little bit better here together. I'm getting kind of pushed off the back of his wheel, and I need to be right there up on it, holding my position down. But this is also, like, you know, I compare it to Legion's lead out trains of the past and things like that. Well, we're not going very fast. We're not really pushing as hard as we can on this last lap. Like, this is the point where we're not really we shouldn't be holding back our matches, right? We should be pushing out all the watts we can going into this going into these last little stretches here. We should all be pushing as hard as we can. We're going 35, so we're going a little bit faster than we were before. Terrell is kind of falling back here at this point. I'm still following Derek, and then, I make this move. I'm trying to go up a little bit further. I'm trying to make moves here on this last little lap. There's Grant. So this is what I should do right here. I should be right behind Grant's wheel, but Derek's right there. So I do see him. So I slot in right behind Derek. So we've got, we're in position, I think. We're in the top third of the race. Guys are kind of falling back here at the last little bit. And, I think I'm in pretty decent position, but here we go. We got this last corner and, the crazy pavement. I go over the pavement and something happens right here where I'm trying to start my sprint, and the gear, I'm not sure if it skipped a gear or what, but something happened where I could not get into gear, and I had to slow down and stop and then restart my sprint. And then I got passed up by a few people. Ended up 16th place. Derek got 14th. But we did get Grant into the top 5. So a definite win there. Grant got 4th place out there. So you can see how close we were to each other there on that last little bit. And Grant ended up getting 4th place. So we were right there, right behind him. We were in a line. We were in that train. We all could have gone across together in that last little bit. But yeah, having a minor, I guess you could say, mechanical on that last little stretch kind of ruined my sprint there. But we were right there. So I feel good about where we were, our placement and everything. Obviously, we didn't do a good job of, trying to catch up to the solo rider out front. He demolished the rest of the field and kept away and ended up winning. But yeah, it came down to that bunch sprint, and Grant ended up with that 4th place finish, top 5 there. So that was big for us. That's what we want. We want to get at least one of us in there. It would be nice for all of us to get in that top 10 range and have our name up there. But it's great that Grant got that 4th place in there. So pretty great race. Had a lot of fun up there in St. Louis. I would definitely come back and do this race again. It was definitely it was fun. Great place for the kids as well. For that park is humongous and so many things to do there. So definitely a great place for the kids. If you got kids, bring them up there and come watch a race for about an hour or so, and then go do some activities and things. But yeah, anyway, if you like the video, please like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon so you know when I post videos. Hey, yo, I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Legs.
Woo.
12 seconds.
Yeah, that's it.
So what happened?
Grant and Derek were right in front of me last lap, right here. You pull up beside me, starts to go. I said, okay, there's Jason. And then I started to pedal. And I was moving, but everybody else was moving too.
So you pulled what I did yesterday?
No, not at all. Because I didn't blow up. No,
I
stayed in the pack. I was just kind of, I probably finished 25th.
Okay.
Again, coming around this last turn, I was in position. So, and I said it on mine, and you'll hear it. When you went by, I had the opportunity to slide up to probably 8th wheel on the right, and I just couldn't get there. So I stayed 20th wheel and was in the pack going down this back stretch.
Yeah.
But then when people opened their sprints, I was like, there's no, What am I racing for?
I heard a big like that.
Somebody lost their computer.
It was not my chain. Well, somebody probably lost their computer, but my chain skipped. I'm trying to get up to speed over here, and I couldn't. If I had got my sprint like I wanted to, I think I would have passed a few people at the end. But
Where'd you end up?
I was in mid whatever. I don't know how many of those were collegiate and threes. So
Derek, where did Grant end up?
he got 4.
He got 4.
Okay.
So like I was up front, right behind the EP guy, right? And Grant was slowing down. So I said, Grant, you got to get this spot. And that's when he jumped in front of me. Because he was going the way I was going to go, the same way I would have took it. He bounced and went around and got far to the end. And then on that turn, he was perfect position.
Okay.
He was like right there, perfect position. But I couldn't go because it slowed down. I got behind. I couldn't go around. Everybody started coming
I would say
So we was like down there like 10, 15 wide. I was sprinting. Another dude just slow up dead in front of me.
Derek was right in front of me. I would say we were top 15-ish, maybe.
It has to be top 10.
Yeah.
Well, the footage will be up.
Yeah.
Terrell Pickett, YouTube. I don't know when Jason's will be up. It'll probably
Hopefully this week. We'll see. We're gonna try. Well, how you feeling about it?
Good.
Yeah.
Early season legs feel pretty good. I think we're gonna be a problem during local races.
And if we can help out Grant a little more, we can get him at first place instead of 4th. But
yeah, we owe Grant helping out, getting on the front.
yeah, he was out there killing it though.
Grant's a monster.
He was just chilling, and then all of a sudden he was up there. So
Grant is a monster. I'm always surprised at how strong the fields are. There's a lot of dudes in the field here.
yeah,
It'll be a good omen for local racing though. Like I think we're gonna have a good year.
definitely. I mean, it's big field out here, nice and flat with headwind going into the finish.
Not fun.
Not fun.
Y'all are gonna. So again, Terrell Pickett on YouTube. You'll see my chest mount video. Last lap, I was kicking it. Kind of back of the pack finishing, watching the dudes come into the last turn, and you're gonna see dudes going through the water puddle.
Oh man,
like it got real wild. Jason and Derek are up there, contesting in the sprint, and I'm looking at it like, buddy, somebody's gonna crash out and hurt somebody.
For real, where I was, where I finished. But I did skip a gear going into that last turn, and I had to restart my sprint again. So kind of put me a little bit behind. I think I could have passed a few more people there.
Yeah. Grant was a 4th place, Derek 20th, Jason 22nd, I was 31st. Literally just in the pack. But I do think that we were in the mix of the race.
Oh yeah.
Significantly today, and once we figure out who's racing for who and how, we'll be okay.
Yeah, I think if we weren't so disorganized in this one, and we had been riding together a little bit more, we could have put a train together on that last couple laps.
That's exactly
because
what
we all were there together, within the last 3 laps. And that's where we just
on
need
the
to stay
last
in a
lap
line.
back straight. All 4 of us were in the top 15 wheels.
Yeah, so that's where we need to really push it out and just have somebody lead it out like a domestique at that point and take over.
It wasn't gonna be me because I didn't have the legs. I saw the line and just couldn't get there.
Yeah, the guys that were up there up front were pretty damn strong, and whoever took off to win it, he really put some dig into it at the end.
Freaking awesome.